Alright guys, welcome to my channel, Crypto Tyke here. I am the inflation avoider. Just a quick one really. Just currently a bit down in the dumps more than anything else, so I thought I'd kind of explain my reasoning why. I mean, it's more to do with, obviously, liquidity's come in and I've got problems with the upgrade of my phone, which is getting on my tits, and they're making a massive mess of things, but also trying to charge me for the privilege at the same time, which is typical of massive companies who think they can do what they want with your money. But I'm trying to now think, well, do I want to upgrade it just yet, because I want as much liquidity as I can to be able to take advantage of this dip. And that's the real thing. I mean, looking at it, I could always have more in, and having money put aside ready to go in case of emergencies, for them ridiculously low limit orders that you have in case of major crash. It just seems pointless having it there at the moment, because the prices are pretty good as they are, and I'm staying away from things like the lower caps at the moment, and people might have their own opinions about that, but my reasoning is just that I can get good value Solana and Avax and things like that, so I might as well take advantage of that. And it's just difficult at the moment. Business is a bit slow as well, which is really meaning, and it's typical, it always happens at times like this. When you want it most, it's there, it doesn't come in when you need it most, and then by the time it does come in, it all comes in at once and the opportunity has gone. And it's a bit just annoying more than anything else that that's the way it works. I mean, I was looking at selling my whole, well, half of my record collection, even my whole record collection at one point, to just get the money in the door. But when you sell something physical, unlike selling crypto, it takes months and months to sell it if you're looking for a decent price, and that otherwise you end up selling much cheaper. And that's probably a trap a lot of people fall into, because you want to get rid of something to make money to be able to put into something else, even whether that's buying a car or buying something else. You know, it might not be crypto, but you end up having to sell something undervalued to take advantage of an opportunity while it's there. And that's what it was like when I first started selling my record collection, looking to sell it. Either at first I was looking to sell half the collection, and then I decided, well, I might as well try sell the lot and get the money while we had that June July period of lows. But then, with it taking months for that to really get interest, that opportunity had gone, which then made it pointless selling it, because I would have been buying in at the top, and because of the amount of money that would have gone in, it would have had, let's just say I had done that and I'd successfully sold the entire collection, I'd have put in more money, by 5 times more money in at the top than what I'd put in now. So that would have meant I would have been making eye-watering losses now if I'd have used that money, you know. So it would have been a real kick in the teeth. So I'm glad I didn't do that. And now we're at that other that place again, where it's like, well, yeah, I should have sold half the collection. So that's going to be a bit of work. It takes a bit of doing, just putting the whole package together anyway, and it's going to take a few months again to sell. So what I might have to do is sell half of it and then look at the market and then decide when and where to deploy the liquidity that I get from it. But it's just a bit of a ball ache. Everything's coming out at the same time. There's more outgoings and stuff that keep popping up, and I don't know, it's just frustrating. So that means less can go into crypto. And I want, at the time when I want to put more in, I want to really put as much as I possibly can, but it's very slow at the moment, and yeah, a little bit dispirited by it. But I'm not going to let that put me off my long-term plan anyway. I'm in crypto for the long term, so there's plenty of time for getting all that done, and I'm sure I'll probably take advantage of a bear market in the coming years anyway. So probably not the major rush, but just it'd be nice to get a little bit more in. Now, in other news, I've got a kitten. I mentioned it, and we was jokingly going to name it Link. We didn't end up calling it Link, but I'm not going to tell you the name of it just yet. I know it's not the most interesting bit of news I've got, but there is a reason for it. Now, if you're a Kaspa holder and you're big on Kaspa, I think this will be of interest to you anyway. Now, the name of my kitten gave me an idea that helps, is something I've got planned as a series in these videos, which is like tutorials on things you can do in the Kaspa ecosystem and the different things you can do. So what I'm going to do, and this isn't I'm not wanting people to buy it, by the way. I'm going to create a meme coin, and I'm going to show you the workings of different things and some of the drawbacks and some of the good things, obviously, about it. And it'll help us track why Kaspa's the price it is now as well, and where it needs to be to improve and see that price get to the place where we all want it to go long term. It's not just about, the technology's there, so it's about what can you do with that technology, and that's what I want to find out, because I'm quite geeky in that way and I like to get under the hood and do things. So I'll be doing a few tutorials at the same time, so if anybody wants to do the same, they can. And I think that'll be useful, because there isn't any tutorials out there. I've tried searching for some, obviously, because I need help. But it also, from a purely crypto point of view, it's going to help with learning how crypto works better, so you have a better understanding of what you're holding, not just Kaspa, but how different coins, the mechanics behind them, and why certain ones pump and others don't. And that's usually down to the liquidity in the coin itself. It can lead to very, very big falls in price and very, very big pumps. But I'm going to do that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the project going, because it'll all be part of the whole tracking the series and the whole Kaspa thing that I want to get more involved with. And then it'll be something as a community, I will give out like part of it, free airdrops and things like that to subscribers, just to say thanks, really. It might not be worth anything, but it's just something you can hold, and you never know, one day if, say, the community does take hold of it, and the wider community like it and the idea, then who knows, it might be worth something in time to come. But it's just a little fun idea and something I want to do. I want to get under the hood with crypto, so I can really get my understanding, as much as possible about things. And it can only help us as investors, knowing these things, and I can pass on these bits of information to you guys as well, so it helps us all get better at what we do. And I think it'll just be interesting, if you are somebody who holds Kaspa, to see how things are done and what's available to do and what we need in there and things like that. And that way you'll see, oh yeah, things are progressing, things are going, they're starting to tick them boxes, and you probably see the prices going up as well with Kaspa when these boxes start to get ticked. I've learned one or two things already, which I will share with you on future videos about Kaspa, that I didn't know, and are things that Kaspa really, really needs for it to see that price go up. And I'm a little bit surprised you can't do certain things already. So a few things there, that questions that I'll be able to answer in those videos. So if you're not already subscribed, do hit the subscribe button, because I will be doing things like that, and it'll be an ongoing project that'll be interesting to follow. So hit the like button and hit the notifications bell icon as well, so you're notified when I make videos. And also let me know your thoughts. Do you think that's a good idea? Is it something you'd be really interested to see? Let me know in the comments. And also let me know in the comments, I mean, are you always got that feeling that you want to be able to put more money into crypto but just can't? It's physically impossible. It's just not enough money to be able to have some spare liquidity for when there is big drops, you know, because, well, there's only so much that can go around, and that when you've got an opportunity like it is now, sometimes it's just best to buy while you can. Now, I said that I expected October to happen late in October. That's what I was saying back in September. I didn't expect October to happen until later, when other people were saying, oh yeah, October's on its way and we're going to have happy days. And that's playing in the back of my mind, that if I'm backing what I've said, we might see prices push upwards towards the end of the month, and we are getting there. So it'll be, again, I'm feeling a little bit pressured that some crypto, like Avalanche for instance, great price at the moment, it's a good time for buying it. Do I need to wait for it to go down another $1 or $2? You know, is it going to happen, or is it going to start then going up and I'll have missed this opportunity? Is it better just not to take the risk and just buy while I can? And all those are things that we have to decide as normal people, because we don't have that much money where you know, just as anybody who's not wealthy, you have to look at what you have, and that's what you have. You don't get to make those choices of, oh yeah, I'm going to wait for this to happen and then I'm going to throw it on. It's not infinite money you have. So these are the decisions we have to make, and I want to keep myself with some liquidity left over to be able to catch these drops with the limit orders that I've got set. But is it feasible? I don't know. It's difficult at the moment. Very, very difficult, and I admit, you know, it's a bit of a struggle. But we keep trying to do what is best for us, and you know, it's like there's a couple of other things I might have bought had I just had extra money there, but I have to make tough choices. So the tough choices are that I'm focused more on Ethereum, Solana, and Avalanche at the moment, and obviously I want money on Bitcoin as well, because that is something that I'm building each month. That is just about building that, and I have to make sure that I am putting a certain amount into Bitcoin before I even start. So they're all things that we have to take into consideration, and it just feels like one of them moments where everything's against you, and it's just typical, as always, that you get loads of money coming in when prices are high, but when you really need it is when prices are low, and then everything dries up and it's like shit. But them are the deals, and that's what we have to deal with. So I'm sure it's not just me who has these problems. I'm sure many people have them. What can you do about it? Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Do let me know what you think in the comments and what you're doing at the moment. And let me know what you think about the idea about creating a meme coin. I will be doing like screen grabs so you can see the whole process and giving you a kind of tutorial as I go along, so you can do it yourself if you want. And then there will be offshoots of that because of that allow me to explore more things like liquidity pools and such, because that'll be necessary. I'm not going to be putting too much cash into it to begin with. It's just a small project, it's just a little idea, and that's about as far as it goes. But they're all part of the same thing, and it allows me to understand where the Kaspa ecosystem is currently at, and also track it as time goes on as well, and be actively involved in it. And that is everything. So do hit the like button, because I really need as much help as I can get with the views at the moment. I changed my name, username, and I think that's having a bit of an impact. I changed it back to what it were originally, and I think it's having a negative impact on the views, and that is about that. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with you again hopefully tomorrow. So I will catch you later, guys. Bye bye.